Hello and welcome to WION World is One. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran and this is WION Fineprint. First up, all the news from South Asia. The Pakistani government has taken control of the headquarters of the terrorist group Jamaat. Now, 2 days after banning the Jamaat and its charity wing, the Falah-e-Insaniyat Foundation, the Pakistani authorities have now sealed the Lahore headquarters of the two Hafiz Saeed-led outfits as part of an ongoing crackdown against terror groups in the country. Pakistan's Punjab Home Ministry has said that it has taken complete control of the banned JUD headquarters in the cities of Lahore and Muridke. Remember, just 2 days back, local authorities had taken control of mosques, seminaries and other institutions run by the JUD in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad. Meanwhile, a total of 121 members of the banned groups have so far been taken into preventive detention across Pakistan. After sealing the headquarters of the Jamaat in Lahore, Pakistan barred the Mumbai attacks mastermind Hafiz Saeed from delivering his weekly Friday address at the JOD headquarters. This is the first time in many years that Saeed will not deliver the address despite being present in Lahore. Saeed has never before been stopped from delivering the Friday address. The senior official said that Saeed's request to be allowed to speak at the mosque was rejected since the premises had been sealed. Hours later, Hafiz Saeed went into hiding. This is the first time he has skipped the Friday address. Saeed has always been present despite such takeovers in the past by the Pakistani authorities. Now, after Balakot, all eyes are now on Bahawalpur, which houses the headquarters of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. Now, WION World is One has accessed the latest visuals of Masood Azhar's den in Bahawalpur. On your screens right now are visuals of the sprawling compound housing the headquarters of terror. Ironically, this terror hub is now being guarded by Pakistan's police force. Armed policemen can be seen positioned right outside the enormous steel gates of the compound. Safeguarding terror may seem like an ironic situation, but it is not new to Pakistan. The irony is completely lost on Pakistan. Now, Jaish-e-Mohammed is the same terror group that attacked a convoy of Indian security forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama. The Jaish admitted to loading a vehicle with explosives and ramming it into a bus ferrying Indian CRPF personnel. 40 Indian paramilitary personnel died and India and Pakistan almost came to the brink of war. The rising tensions between the nuclear-armed neighbors set off alarms across the world, but it is business as usual in Bahawalpur, where emotions run high in favor of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. The group wields a significant influence over the locals, a fact that is evident from the manner in which they refer to the terror group. Listen in.
वो इस्लाम फैलाना चाह रहे हैं, कोई दहशतगर्दी कोई कुछ नहीं. हमने उनके पीछे नमाज पढ़ी, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह खुदा को जान देनी, ये बिल्कुल काम, ये गलत है. कोई ऐसा काम नहीं है, बिल्कुल नहीं.
Now, Pakistan has repeatedly claimed that it has cracked down on terror. The Imran Khan government says that it believes in zero tolerance to terrorism. In fact, Pakistan's counter-terrorism agency says that the government has outlawed 68 militant groups, including the Jaish-e-Mohammed. But this side of a police cover for a United Nations designated terror group tells a different story altogether.
Various Pakistani governments had promised to take action, but they have not done so. So problem is that it has come back to haunt Pakistan, not only because of it poses a great dangers to Pakistan's own national internal security, but also actually there's always a danger that they could use Pakistani soil to launch attack across the border.
In other news, Pakistan has now given permission to a United Nations team to visit Balakot. The decision comes nearly 2 weeks after India conducted an operation on the 26th of February. The Indian Air Force carried out preemptive strikes on a Jaish-e-Mohammed camp in Pakistan's Balakot. This operation was seen as a retaliation to the terror attack in Pulwama. Pakistan has repeatedly denied that India struck terror targets in Balakot. Pakistan had also refused access to foreign journalists who tried to access the Jaish camp there. Pakistan has so far claimed that there has been no damage in Balakot due to the Indian airstrikes. They have maintained that the only casualties of the strike were trees in the area. But if that argument is to be believed, then why did Pakistan violate the Indian airspace the next day? And if they claim that there is nothing to hide, then why are international journalists not being given access to the site? Pakistan needs to answer these questions. Right, moving on to other news now. In a major development, India's top court has referred the Ayodhya-Babri land dispute for mediation. The court constituted a panel of mediators which will be headed by former top court judge Justice F.M. Khalifullah. It will comprise spiritual guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and advocate Sri Ram Panchu. Significantly, the court banned media from reporting on the mediation proceedings. The timing of the court order is important since the mediation proceedings have to be completed within 8 weeks, but the first status report has to be filed within 4 weeks just before the Indian election. The venue of the mediation efforts will be the town of Faizabad in Uttar Pradesh, where the proceedings will be held in camera. The bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi had reserved the order on the plea on the 6th of March. The reference to mediation had attracted opposition from some Hindu groups. The court has maintained that the focus of mediation is to arrive at a permanent solution to the long-standing dispute.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्लियर तौर से ये मैटर मीडिएशन को भेजा है। जस्टिस कलीफुल्ला जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के रिटायर्ड जज हैं, वो मीडिएशन के चेयरमैन रहेंगे। श्री श्री रविशंकर जो एक सामाजिक कार्यकर्ता हैं, वो इस मैटर में मीडिएशन रहेंगे और जस्टिस पंचू इस मैटर में मीडिएशन रहेंगे। ये मामला फैजाबाद में होगा। 8 हफ्ते के अंदर मीडिएटर को अपनी रिपोर्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने सबमिट करनी है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्लियर तौर से मीडिया को मना किया है, मीडिया इलेक्ट्रॉनिक और प्रिंट दोनों को इस मैटर की रिपोर्टिंग करने से।
Meanwhile, the convener of Babri Mosque Action Committee welcomed the court decision and reiterated that they would fully cooperate with the mediation panel.
Strict confidentiality will be maintained in the mediation. And we have already said that we will cooperate with the mediation. Therefore, mediation panel has been constituted, and now whatever we have to say, we will say before the mediation panel, not outside.
Remember, the dispute involves 2.77 acres of land in Ayodhya, where a 16th century mosque built by Mughal Emperor Babur stood. Some Hindus believe that the mosque is built on the ruins of an ancient temple marking the birthplace of Lord Ram.
After an intense discussion, India's top court has ordered for mediation among the parties that had moved to the court earlier against the 2010 Allahabad High Court verdict that had distributed the land equally among the three parties. The court said that there could be possibly a positive outcome through mediation. Jessica Taneja with video journalist Gopal, World is One, New Delhi.
So who are these three members who will be mediating the Ayodhya land dispute case? Let's take a look. Now, spiritual guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is known to have played a vital role in peace negotiations globally. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar reacted to the news on Twitter. He tweeted that one should achieve the goal of ending long-standing conflicts positively. But Hyderabad lawmaker Asaduddin Owaisi objected to the nomination of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar to the panel on the ground that he is not a neutral party to the dispute.
मुसलमान अपने इस क्लेम को अयोध्या पर नहीं छोड़ेंगे तो हिंदुस्तान सीरिया बन जाएगा, ये इनका स्टेटमेंट है। और उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि मुसलमान एज अ गुडविल गेस्चर इसको छोड़ दें। तो जब इनका कनेक्शन सब्जेक्ट मैटर से है, इन्होंने अपना पूरा पोजीशन साफ कर दिया है कि वो किस पार्टी के ताईद में है। देखिए, ना सिर्फ सब्जेक्ट मैटर से इनका ताल्लुक है, बल्कि इनका पार्टी से भी ताल्लुक है। तो ये रिग्रेटेबल है कि एक ऐसे शख्स को सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने मीडिएटर अपॉइंट किया है जो न्यूट्रल मीडिएटर नहीं है।
Right, the second member on the panel is Advocate Sriram Panchu. He is no stranger to the job. Sriram Panchu is credited with making mediation an important part of India's legal system. He is a founder of the Mediation Chambers that offers services in mediation. He set up India's first court-annexed mediation center back in the year 2005. Panchu has a long history of mediating large number of complex and high-value disputes across a range of commercial, corporate and contractual disputes. Right, moving on, retired Justice Fakir Muhammad Ibrahim Khalifullah chairs the panel. With a specialization in labour law, Justice Khalifullah served in various district courts, the Madras High Court and India's top court in civil, labour and company matters. He served as standing counsel for public sector undertakings as well after the top court's order. Justice Khalifullah said that the panel would do its best to resolve the matter.
The Supreme Court has appointed a mediation committee headed by me. I am yet to receive the order copy. Therefore, for the present, I can only say that if the committee has been constituted, we will take every effort to resolve the dispute.
Right, moving on, UK Prime Minister Theresa May has made her last-ditch attempt to convince the European Union to give her a better Brexit deal. Now, speaking at the Brexit stronghold of Grimsby, she said that if a deal fails to win a majority in the lower chamber of the UK legislature next week, Britain may never leave the EU. She said that if the deal she has negotiated is not embraced, then the only certainty would be more uncertainty. Now, on the domestic front, she urged her fellow lawmakers to let go of argument and instead focus on other issues.
From listening to those views, it is clear that while there is broad support for many of the key aspects.
Next week, members of Parliament in Westminster face a crucial choice: whether to back the Brexit deal or to reject it. Back it, and the UK will leave the European Union. Reject it, and no one knows what will happen. We may not leave the EU for many months. We may leave without the protections that the deal provides. We may never leave at all.
It now remains to be seen what the European Union's response will be. Theresa May has firmly placed the ball in the EU's court. Earlier in the day, May urged the EU to break the ongoing impasse over the so-called Irish backstop. The backstop remains the thorniest issue in the negotiations. Now, UK lawmakers are due to vote for a second time Tuesday on the deal, which they overwhelmingly rejected in January.
From listening to those views, it is clear that while there is broad support for